You know, you can't scroll through tech news these days without seeing something about AI that's moving beyond just analysis AI that can actually act on its own, making decisions and taking steps within a business context. Agentic AI, autonomous systems, it's a real shift. And one of the companies making a significant push here is Salesforce with their platform Agentforce.
That's absolutely right. The hype around agentic AI is definitely building. And Salesforce's recent Q4 and FY25 earnings call, that was February 26, 2025, it gave some really concrete examples of what this tech can do in the enterprise, specifically through Agentforce. For you, listening in, trying to cut through the noise and understand the real implications, this is a fascinating case study.
Absolutely. And that's really what this deep dive is all about for you. We want to go beyond just the surface level announcements and really unpack what Agentforce's early performance tells us. What does it mean for the future of automation in businesses like yours? And, what can we learn from their initial journey? Okay, so let's dive into Agentforce's debut. It sounds like it made quite an entrance.
It's, putting it mildly. CEO Mark Benioff, he actually went as far as calling Q4 the quarter of Agentforce. Now, when you hear a statement like that from a CEO, it definitely signals something pretty significant.
The quarter of Agentforce.
Yeah. And what's particularly striking is just the speed at which it's been adopted. It
Yeah.
launched back in October 2024, and by the end of their fiscal year, they'd managed to close 5,000 deals.
5,000.
5,000. And over 3,000 of those were already in paid implementations.
Okay, 5,000 deals in just a few months. That level of traction is, well, it suggests there's a real appetite for this kind of technology. Benioff even said they'd never seen product growth at this level. What do you think is driving this rapid adoption? What specific needs are businesses looking to address with agentic AI right now?
That's the key question, isn't it? I think it points to a growing need for businesses to automate more complex, um, less routine tasks. Traditional automation has its limits. Agentforce, it seems, is tapping into a desire for systems that can handle more nuanced interactions and processes with, greater autonomy. Ultimately, the aim is for increased efficiency and maybe freeing up human capital for more strategic work.
Right, moving beyond the simple stuff. So with this kind of rapid uptake, you'd naturally expect to see a pretty significant impact on Salesforce's financial performance. How did the numbers actually look?
Well, overall, the financial results were solid. In Q4, they hit $10 billion in revenue, which was up 8% year over year. For the full fiscal year, FY25, they reached $37.9 billion, a 9% rise.
Okay, so decent growth.
Decent growth, yeah. And their cash flow was exceptionally strong. Operating cash flow was up 28% to $13.1 billion, and free cash flow jumped 31% to $12.4 billion. So
Right.
healthy numbers there.
Those are undeniably strong figures. So why the somewhat muted response from the market? We heard about a kind of lukewarm reaction. What's the underlying story there?
Yeah, this really highlights the forward-looking nature of the market, doesn't it?
Yeah.
While current results were good, the FY26 revenue guidance, they projected $40.5 to $40.9 billion, which is about 7% to 8% growth. It didn't quite meet the higher expectations some analysts had.
Oh, okay.
And those expectations likely factored in the general excitement around AI and, Salesforce's historical growth rates.
Mm.
It really underscores a common challenge in the tech world.
Hmm.
Even impressive growth might not be enough if future projections don't signal, like exponential acceleration.
Right, it's that constant pressure for future growth. So even with thousands of deals closed for Agentforce, the big revenue payoff isn't expected to be immediate. It's a longer game, it sounds like.
Exactly. And this is where CFO Amy Weaver's comments provide crucial context for you, the listener.
Mhm.
She mentioned that they anticipate only a modest contribution from Agentforce in FY26.
Modest, okay.
Yeah, with a more substantial impact expected in FY27. So this suggests that while adoption is swift, the revenue recognition and the full financial impact will take a bit more time to materialize as these implementations scale up and mature within client organizations.
Okay, so the initial excitement and adoption are clearly there, but the significant financial returns from this new technology are still a bit further down the road. It's that interesting dynamic between, early promise and the realities of large-scale enterprise adoption.
Precisely. And it raises a fundamental question for anyone watching the AI space. How do you balance the immediate enthusiasm and potential with the often longer timelines for significant financial impact, especially with disruptive technologies like this?
That's a great point for you to consider. Now, let's maybe move beyond the financial figures for a minute and look at what Agentforce is actually doing for businesses right now. We've seen some really interesting real-world examples of its impact.
Yes, and these examples really bring the potential of agentic AI to life. Uh, Take OpenTable, for instance. Within just 3 weeks of using Agentforce, they saw a 50% increase in their ability to manage restaurant web queries.
50% in 3 weeks. Wow.
Yeah. And even more impressively, 73% of those inquiries were handled without any human intervention at all, autonomous handling. This really highlights how agentic AI can effectively manage those high-volume, sort of routine tasks, freeing up human agents for more complex customer interactions.
A 50% increase in efficiency and a 73% autonomous handling rate. That's a significant boost to their operations, and you'd think probably a better experience for their customers who get immediate answers to common questions.
Absolutely. And it's not just about customer-facing applications either. Goodyear is using Agentforce in a really practical way to shorten repair times for their field technicians
How are they doing?
by analyzing vehicle insights and automatically scheduling service appointments. They're streamlining a critical, often complex logistical process. That could lead to faster service and reduce downtime for their customers' vehicles.
So it's using AI to connect different data points and automate what's traditionally a complex scheduling challenge. That's a clever application. Any other examples that really illustrate the kind of breadth of its potential?
Pfizer's deployment is particularly noteworthy, mainly because of its scale. They've rolled out Agentforce to support 20,000 employees.
20,000.
20,000 employees, yeah. And the goal is streamlining various functions across sales, customer engagement, and even clinical operations. This kind of widespread adoption within a major organization really underscores the potential for, enterprise-wide transformation that agentic AI might offer.
These aren't just small trials, then. These are significant deployments within established companies. That suggests a real belief in the technology's ability to deliver tangible results. And it's not just external applications we're talking about, right? Salesforce themselves are using Agentforce internally, eating their own dog food, as they say.
Exactly. And their internal use cases provide some compelling proof points. Their help.salesforce.com platform, for example, has managed an astounding 380,000 conversations
380,000.
and achieved an 84% resolution rate. But what's truly remarkable for you to consider is that only 2% of those interactions required a human agent to step in. Just 2%.
Oh, wow.
This really demonstrates the potential for significant cost savings and efficiency gains in customer support operations.
An 84% resolution rate with minimal human involvement. That's a dramatic shift in how customer support can operate. It makes you wonder how many businesses could see similar improvements.
It really does. And the benefits extend beyond just support. Salesforce has also reported accelerating their internal quoting cycles by over 75% through implementing Agentforce. Now, for any business dealing with complex quoting processes, that kind of speed improvement can have a direct impact on sales velocity and, well, overall responsiveness to market opportunities.
These real-world examples definitely provide a much clearer picture of the tangible value proposition of agentic AI. Okay, now, a recurring theme in the discussion around Agentforce and AI in general has been the critical importance of data. It seems like the AI is only as good as the data it has access to.
That's not just important, it's fundamental. As Mark Benioff put it very clearly, Data Cloud is the fuel that powers Agentforce. Without a robust, well-organized, and accessible data infrastructure, these autonomous systems simply cannot operate effectively or deliver, meaningful results. For you listening, this underscores the importance of your own data strategy when considering any kind of AI adoption.
Right, the foundation has to be there. And the growth of Data Cloud itself seems to validate this connection. The numbers there were pretty remarkable too, weren't they?
Absolutely. Data Cloud's annual recurring revenue reached $900 million. That's a staggering 120% increase year over year.
120%.
Yeah. And the sheer scale of data being processed is immense, over 50 trillion records, which is double from the previous year. These figures really highlight that symbiotic relationship between data management capabilities and AI capabilities.
That kind of growth in Data Cloud revenue and data volume really speaks volumes about its strategic importance in the age of AI. And it sounds like Salesforce is seeing a clear pattern of customers adopting both Agentforce and Data Cloud together. Is that right?
That's a key takeaway for you, definitely. They reported that nearly half of the Fortune 100 are now dual AI and Data Cloud customers.
Half the Fortune 100.
Yeah. And even more telling, perhaps, is that all of Salesforce's top 10 Q4 customer wins included both Agentforce and Data Cloud. This strongly suggests that businesses understand the necessity of a strong data foundation to leverage the full potential of agentic AI. You need both pieces.
So, going back to the market's reaction to the earnings, with the stock price dipping after hitting that 52-week high, It really underscores this tension, doesn't it, between the immediate financial expectations and the longer-term vision for AI's impact. That drop from around $369 down to $271, that's quite significant. It seems the market wants to see those immediate financial returns from AI now.
It does. The market often prioritizes short-term revenue growth.
Yeah.
And while the potential of AI is widely acknowledged, investors can be impatient to see that potential translate into immediate financial gains. This situation with Salesforce really highlights the challenge for companies introducing transformative AI technologies. You have to manage market expectations that might not always align with the, frankly, necessarily longer adoption and impact timelines in large enterprises.
It's almost like the market is just saying, okay, we get the future potential, but what about right now? Show us the money now. But Salesforce seems to be signaling a more strategic, long-term view on the financial implications of Agentforce.
That's the impression, yeah. They seem to be emphasizing the foundational role of Agentforce in their overall strategy and, the need for businesses to strategically integrate these capabilities, which naturally takes time and investment before that large-scale revenue impact is fully realized. It's not an overnight switch.
And to emphasize that this is an ongoing process of development and improvement, Salesforce announced Agentforce 2.0 relatively soon after the initial launch, didn't they? Back in December 2024, if I recall correctly.
Yes, exactly. And that rapid iteration is crucial in the rapidly evolving field of AI. Agentforce 2.0 brought a set of new features designed to enhance its capabilities and make it even more readily applicable to a wider range of enterprise needs. This kind of quick follow-up demonstrates their commitment to the platform and also to incorporating that early feedback they must have been getting.
So what were some of the key upgrades and new features introduced in Agentforce 2.0 that you think are particularly noteworthy for someone trying to understand its evolution?
Well, several enhancements stand out. The introduction of free-built skills is significant. That allows businesses to deploy Agentforce for specific tasks more quickly and easily, reducing the need for extensive customization upfront.
Right, sort of plug-and-play capabilities.
Kind of, yeah. Then the integration with Slack is another important development, enabling more seamless collaboration and automation of workflows across different teams where people are already working.
Makes sense.
They also highlighted advancements in reasoning capabilities, suggesting a more sophisticated ability for the AI to understand context and make more informed decisions. And finally, the inclusion of performance tracking tools is vital. Businesses need to monitor the effectiveness and measure the return on investment of their AI deployments.
So these updates really seem focused on making Agentforce more accessible, more integrated into existing business processes, maybe more intelligent in its operation, and definitely more measurable in its impact. It's about making those promises of autonomous customer engagement and efficiency gains more attainable in practice, perhaps.
Precisely. It's about building on that initial strong adoption and continuously enhancing the platform based on real-world usage and evolving enterprise needs. It's about pushing the boundaries of what these autonomous systems can actually achieve in a business setting.
Okay, so for you, the listener who's been following this deep dive, what are the core takeaways regarding Agentforce and maybe the broader implications for agentic AI in the enterprise?
Yeah, I think the key things to remember are, first, Agentforce represents a significant real-world step in the adoption of agentic AI by major organizations. It's happening. Second, the rapid initial adoption indicates a strong market need for this kind of capability. Third, we've seen tangible examples of how it's delivering benefits in customer service, operational efficiency, internal processes.
Real result.
Real results. However, fourth, the significant revenue impact for Salesforce is likely a longer-term prospect requiring market patience. Fifth, the critical role of a strong data foundation, highlighted by the growth of Data Cloud, is absolutely undeniable. Agentic AI thrives on quality data. And finally, the continuous evolution of the platform with updates like Agentforce 2.0 signals an ongoing commitment to enhancing these autonomous capabilities. It's not static.
So, as you think about your own organization and the potential for leveraging more advanced automation, the experience of Salesforce with Agentforce offers some really valuable insights. It's a glimpse into what's possible, but also maybe a reminder that these kinds of transformations require a strategic approach, a strong data infrastructure, and a realistic understanding of the adoption timelines involved.
Exactly. It's not just about implementing the AI tool itself. It's about building the right ecosystem around it, the data, the integrations, the clear use cases, and having that long-term vision. The early success of Agentforce provides a compelling real-world case study for any enterprise exploring the potential of intelligent automation today.
This has been a really insightful look into the cutting edge of enterprise AI. So to leave you with a final thought to consider, Given the impressive early traction and the clear future potential of agentic AI as demonstrated by Salesforce's Agentforce, what do you foresee as the biggest obstacles to widespread adoption across a broader spectrum of organizations? Beyond the tech giants and the early adopters, what unique challenges might smaller businesses or maybe those in more traditional industries face when trying to implement similar intelligent systems? Something to really think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.